tell me what to do.
Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create IAM policies at user and at group level. And here we are back in our AWS management console where I've already created few users and few groups where I'm gonna match the users with the groups and their policies. I'm gonna recheck whether the policies have been applied, and with those policies what all accesses and permissions does an individual user has. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you can see in the console, what I'm going to look is at the users, and for that I'm gonna go and in the services and select IAM. And in security, identity and compliance, you can see IAM. If you want, you can directly go and search IAM right here and you can see the IAM. So once you click on that, you would be able to see the identity and access management page where you have the user link, which you can share with the users, and you have all the number of users, roles, groups all already marked. If you have anything, for my scenario, I already have 4 users created, but in your case it would be 0. So if I click on this user, or maybe the user on the left panel, I can see a cloud user and 3 more users. So cloud user is me myself, with which I'm logging, and the other 3 users are my 3 imaginary users which I'm going to create and attach to different groups. So if I click on one of the users, I see that these users are created without any permissions. So to add the permission, I have to click on this tab. They are neither associated with any groups. We can see some of the security credentials and some of the tags but as at this moment there are no tags attached to the user, and there is no access advisors, so they do not have any permissions at this moment. So these users are just created, they can just log in but cannot access anything since they are not connected to any of the policies. So if I go back to my first user space, the second user also has the same thing. There is no permissions, not attached to any group, no tags, some security credentials, and no access advisor. But at the same time, you can see the user ARN, that is Amazon resource name. They have different Amazon resource name available. If I again go to my user page, same goes for my user 3. No groups, no access keys, no nothing. Let's go back to the dashboard. So in the dashboard, we can see there are 4 groups created. So let's go ahead and see what all groups are already created. So these are the 3 groups I've already kept created for my 3 users to work on. First is the EC2 admin group. In that EC2 admin group, the user would be able to view, start, stop, access to the EC2 instance. Then there's the EC2 support group where the user will only have a read-only EC2 instance access. And for S3 support group, the user will only have read-only access to S3. So now what we are going to do is we are going to click on the EC2 admin, see how many users are there. So currently we see there are no users connected to this. Let's go ahead and see the permission tab. The permission tab, there is no managed policy, but we do see an inline policy. And if you click here on the show policy, you can see what all policies are applied over here. So, and everything has been in effect as allow. So the user is allowed to see the elastic load balancing, is able to describe EC2, start EC2, stop EC2, and auto scaling, get matrix. All these policies are available for the user. And if we go to the access advisor, there is no access advisor for this group. If we go back to the group tab again, in the EC2 support, there is a managed policy available for the user in the permission tab, and that is EC2 read-only access. So this is the Amazon managed policies where the user in this group would be allowed to describe EC2, would be allowed to describe the elastic load balance, would be allowed to see the metrics, get the metric stats and everything, and auto scaling is also allowed. But if we go to the user tab, there is no user attached to this group right now. So we are going to do that. And if we go back to user group again, in the S3 support, there is no user. The permission is S3 read-only access. And if you click on show policy, the user has been allowed to get all the get permission and list permission. So that's a read-only access. So it means the user cannot create a bucket. If a bucket is already there, he can read. So let's go back to the dashboard and try to connect the users with the groups. So when I go to the groups again, I want my EC2 admin to be added with a user. So I'm going to put my user 3 as my EC2 admin. Now we see we have encountered the following errors while processing the request, but this is something, it's kind of a warning. So we can ignore those and go ahead and click on add users. Once I clicked on it, in the user tab in IAM group EC2 admin, you can see user 3 had been added. If you want, you can remove the user on this by clicking on this red button on the right hand side top corner. So this user 3 has been added to EC2 admin. Let's go back to the group. Let's go and select EC2 support. For EC2 support, I've selected user 2. So let's go ahead and add that user. So we'll go ahead and add user 2. Again, we are encountering few errors, and as I said, we can go ahead and ignore those and click on add users. Since we can see that the user 2 has been added to this EC2 support group, we can go back again and select a user for S3 support. So in S3 support, in user tab, let's go ahead and add a user. So I'm going to select user 1 as my S3 support user. Similar errors are shown. Let's ignore that and select on add user. And here we are. The user 1 has been added to IAM group S3 support. So let's go back to the dashboard. And now I can log out from my current account and log in as user 1, user 2, and user 3 one by one. And I will be checking that whether my group policies are attached to the user so that I should have a specific level of access. For that, I have a IAM user sign-in link, which I'm going to use, but I want to keep this page open. So I'm going to copy this, go to an incognito window, and I'm going to paste this and see what it shows. So in my incognito window, I'm going to write user 1, and I'm going to put the password for user 1 because since I created all the user, I know the password. And here we are with my user 1 password, and it's in North Virginia. If you are not sure about your region, you should be looking to a nearby region when you create the user. When you're creating your user, whenever you're using your AWS management console, you should be aware on which region you're working, and you should be continually selecting that. So here I am as a user 1, and user 1 is S3 support. So let's look for S3. You can either search from here and go back to the services and select S3. And here we are in S3. So as I said, that the S3 support does have a read-only S3 access. So what we are going to do is we are going to try creating a bucket. So for creating a bucket, I'm on the S3 page. I'm going to click on create bucket, and I'm going to write user -1 new bucket. And I'm going to click on next. I'm going to keep everything as it is, and again going to click on next. Same goes for this page. And finally, if I'm creating on create bucket. And if I go down, I can see an error message that says access denied. And that's what we wanted. So read-only access cannot create any bucket using this permission. Let's go back, sign out from this, and try to see try to log in as user 2 and see if I am the EC2 support user or not. So I'm going to sign out. I'm going to sign in again back to the console. I will be user 2. I'm going to sign in. So now, since I'm user 2, I should be able to have read-only access to EC2 instance. So let's go to EC2. You can either write again or maybe select from the service. So let me write this time, EC2. And here we are on the EC2, and I can see one instance running. Let's go ahead and click that. I can see one instance already running. So I'm going to right click on this running and try to stop this. I shouldn't be able to stop it because I do not have the permission. I just have the read-only permission. So it says, are you sure you want to stop these instances? I would say yes. And here we are. It gives it error stopping saying that you are not authorized to perform this operation. So that's what we wanted, because since it has read-only permissions, our permissions are correctly connected to user 2. Let me try terminating the instance. So if I go to instance state and click on terminate, it says, are you sure you want to terminate these instances? And I'm going to select yes. And here we are, error terminating instances. You are not authorized to perform this operation. That should be same, because since I have just read-only permissions. So I'm going to log out again from this account and log in as user 3, where I have the ability to view, stop, and start EC2 instance. So I'm going to sign out again. Sign back in the console as user 3. And now again, since I have already opened EC2, I can see the EC2 service already popping up. I'm going to click back again. I can see one running instance. You can also click from here into your instance, or you can click from this left panel. Click on the instances and you can see one running instance. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to stop it or terminate it. I would be stopping it again first time. So let's go to the instance state and stop this. And yes, I want to stop this. And voila, we are able to stop the instance since I am an EC2 admin and that was my permission. So you can see the EC2 instance is stopping. I'm going to restart this instance because I do have a permission to restart or start, whatever. So let's wait for a few minutes till the time the instance stops. So this is kind of a small verification test where we are seeing user 1, user 2, and user 3 are properly connected to S3 support, EC2 support, and EC2 admin. And you can see in the instance state, now it has stopped. So I'm going to start it again. Let's go back, right click, instance state, and start. And yes, I want to start it. And it will take a couple of minutes to get back again in a running state. And this proves that I have the correct policies attached to the correct user, and therefore I'm able to perform these operations. And you can see it's green and it's in running state. So this shows all our policies are correctly attached with the user. Thank you guys for watching this. And if you have any question, put it on the comment below. Please subscribe, share, and put a big like on my videos. Thank you.
Tell me what to do.